Oh,
Hello,
here we go.
we are here. It is episode 3 of Sinner to Win a podcast, and today's guest is Anastasia. She is an elite English teacher, speaking many different languages. She travels the world teaching English, and she's also on a spiritual journey. She's just come back from an ayahuasca retreat, and I can't wait to talk about it. Anastasia, for those that don't know who you are, give us a little bit more information.
Well, it's a little bit confusing. You called me an elite English teacher. Well, I don't think so, but okay. Yes, I've been teaching for 10 years and I've been traveling also for about 12, 15 years. And I don't know. I don't even know where to start from. Yes, to tell you about the journey. I think our life is a journey. So you're following the flow and you don't know exactly where it's going to lead you, but you just feel it. So that's how I started traveling. And I really love the freedom that I have because I can work online and it doesn't matter where I am. And I thought it's such an easy thing to do. Yes, you're not attached to anything. You're just following the flow. But there are a lot of complications as well. And there are a lot of things that block you. So maybe that was the reason why I wanted to try ayahuasca because I thought there is some kind of block and you don't know where it comes from. Maybe it's just your script or a scenario, something that predefines your path. And you don't know. Yes, that's it. It seems like this is your limit and you cannot go, yes, any higher than that. And I thought, no, there must be something. There must be something to rewrite the script or whatever it is. So I decided to go on ayahuasca retreat once. Mhm.
Amazing. Before we get into the ayahuasca, which I can't wait to talk to you about, I've never done ayahuasca, but I've heard a lot about it. I've had a lot of close friends do it. People in recovery, it seems to be kind of the in thing right now, to go and do one of these retreats. I forget as well, you're actually an author. You've written a book. That's true, right?
Yes, yes, it is true.
What's
Yes, I
what's
have.
so I'm gonna put everything in the description. You have a website for where you teach English. You're very you can be seen on Instagram. You have a couple accounts there. And your book. Tell me about your book again.
Yes, I have written a book because once I realized that 16 years ago, I was 16 years, and I wrote a novel. It was so silly about it. It was like a love story. But the thing is, I fell in love with the guy in the book. My character fell in love with the guy who had a child. And yeah, we were together, but eventually my character realized it's a bad idea. So she traveled to a different country, to Brazil. And after 16 years, I realized that everything I have written in this story, it yeah came true. So I actually met a guy who had a child. I fell in love. I went to Brazil, and he followed me. And even the day that I wrote the story, it was actually the day when I met this guy, and I realized like, wow, did I program that, or how did I know about these things? I had no idea. I was 16 years old. So I decided to write because I think writers, they're creating stories that eventually can come true. Well, you never know. What was it? A coincidence? Or it was like a pre-programmed something? I don't know. And I decided to write stories, but more metaphoric stories, because if you're writing about certain events, you don't want to limit your life like to a certain events, meeting these people. So I wanted to give it more variation. So that's why I started writing a book, and it's about love and death and joy and pain, something like a seed. So the book is called Seed. So it's something that you plant inside and it will eventually grow into something beautiful, like a garden. So, and you're working with your subconscious because subconscious has no exact numbers or dates or names or anything. It's very abstract, like a dream. So in the dream, you can find a lot of symbolism, and they are actually leading you, leading the way. And you can transform it as you wish into something absolutely beautiful and mesmerizing. So I decided no matter what we're going through, pain or like dark times, we can make a beautiful story out of it and we can make a beautiful garden. Yes, and that's why I wanted to write this book to, it's honestly, it's for myself, but I think if I can inspire someone else, that would be great. That's the reason I start writing. maybe someone would read it and the image would stuck in their mind, and eventually when a situation comes, it will blossom. Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah, it sounds like definitely manifestation and the magic, the power of the pen. And I remember there was something like in the book, you had different stories. The book would have smells in it and things like that. Is that correct when you were telling me about it?
Yeah, right. Yes, each chapter has a taste, smell, yeah, a sensation to the touch when you touch it, so you can actually feel it, and the sound, the music. So in order to read a chapter, you need to feel all of these things because it's like the entrance, the door. Yes, the door to the story. You have to
All
imagine, you have to
senses.
feel it. Yes, all senses. And you can't read from chapter 1 to 13. There are 13 chapters. So you need to read it from a chaotic order because our life, you cannot just retell me your story from the beginning till the end. It's going to be some stuff from here, some stuff from there, and it's very chaotic. So, but at the end, it's all very logical and beautiful. So that's how I want readers to start reading my book.
And
Yeah, it's true.
when will the book be available to purchase?
Well, I have 3 more chapters to edit because English is not my native language. So I still need to, yes, to edit it, and I ask some professionals to help me with that. And 3 more chapters to go, and it's done. Yes, and I finally will publish it.
So you're going to come back onto Sinner to Winner when the book is published, and we'll do a whole episode on seeds or seed.
I would seeds.
Seeds. Yeah, we'll do a whole episode on seeds. Sounds fantastic. Can't wait for that. So let's get into it. You've just come back from an ayahuasca trip. So there'll be a lot of people listening to this podcast today, and they've never done ayahuasca or they're thinking about it. So let's talk to those people. Like, how did you come about wanting to do this experience?
Well, I've heard about it a long time ago, maybe 8 years ago. So lots of people they were telling stories about ayahuasca. It's like a hallucinogenic drink that gives you a spiritual understanding of life. And well, it's a little bit confusing for most of people, and I didn't know what to expect. But I heard about it, and I thought, okay, maybe once in my life I would love to have this experience. And I didn't think how, I didn't know when exactly, but I've heard about it a long time ago. And the time was, yes, passing. And on my birthday, very like close to the date of my birthday, I decided like I am ready to grow, I'm ready to expand, I'm ready to, yes, go beyond my limits, and I'm ready to see what's there. So I wanted to try it. And I found people very, very easily. There was someone accidentally talking about ayahuasca, and they told me, oh, this is a beautiful place in the mountains. It's called Gaia de Luz. There is a shaman who's making this ceremony. But it's not like a very typical ceremony with, I mean, at night when you're sitting in a circle with buckets. Yes, because you can puke there, and it's absolutely different thing. We did it in the morning. Yes, it was during the day. It was very light, and I'm not sure whether it was strong or not strong enough, but it was perfect for me. And I just trusted the instinct that I need to go there. And I thought, yeah, it's time. I'm ready. I was very scared because you don't know when you are, I don't know, going to your subconscious, you don't know what you're going to see there. It scares you. You're losing the sense of reality. Maybe it will freak you out and you will live this with this feeling, or maybe you will be mad for the rest of your life. You never know. So it was a bit scary, but I thought, yeah, well, no matter what I'm going to face there, I need to go through. I want to untangle things that are, I don't know, blocking my development.
And so tell us how the ceremony went. Tell us what you had to do, how you had to prepare, what happened. Leaders, like for me, I'm excited. I'm nervous just thinking about it.
Well, they actually, shaman didn't tell me anything. So I found all information before. So she told me, like, yeah, you need to keep a diet for 7 days, no meat, no cigarettes, no alcohol, no sex. You need to be prepared for that. And well, I am vegetarian for 16 years. I lived in a Krishna temple in ISKCON for a long time. And that's why for me, it's not a problem to keep a diet. So you can't drink, you can't be intoxicated, and you need to think about yourself, you need to meditate, and you need to be prepared, you need to be ready. So people who perceive this life very materialistically, they think that that's it, that's the reality, that's the only reality that we have. and people who are too I don't even know. They don't want to see beyond this material life and perception. Probably for them, it's going to be a very crazy experience. They will freak out. I knew about energies. Yes, I still don't know a lot of things about spiritual world, what it is. I think we're all in spiritual journey here too. And I just thought that there is something more that we can't see, some kind of fears or some shadows or some dark sides of our beings that are being blocked inside, and we can't find an access to that. And the only thing is just our dreams can help, or these hallucinogenic drinks. Yeah, like ayahuasca. Ayahuasca, it helps you to see beyond this material perception of life. You go deep into your subconscious. There is nothing outside that you would see drinking ayahuasca. Yeah, it exists. It exists in your mind. It exists in your subconscious, and you can see some events that blocked your, I don't know, growth. For me, it was my father, and when I drank ayahuasca in the morning, I had one cup, and shaman told me, okay, have a great journey. Yes, I was really scared. I started crying. I was crying because I didn't know like what I'm gonna see, and I thought, oh, maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I should stop it. I don't want to go there. No, 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 no. I just like this reality. I want to sense it like it is. I don't want to go there to my subconscious. I started crying, and in this moment, the voice, oh, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a voice of my mind as well, or my subconscious, told me, what are you scared of? Look around. People around you, the only thing they want for you is love. Don't you feel it here? You're in a beautiful place in the mountains. People are taking care of you. Look around. They would always hug you. They would give you their hearts. What are you scared of? And there was a lady, she was about 50, 60 years old, and she came and sat next to me. She was like a mother, and she wanted to hug me. And it was like a symbol of, I am being protected. There is nothing to be scared about. And then I felt it was very intense feeling of connection. You're connected to everything, absolutely. And you can see that the life is much deeper than you can perceive, much deeper. And I started thinking, oh my God, and my father, I don't know why, it came out of nowhere, father. He had a birthday a couple of days ago, and we lost connection with him. And I want him to know that I love him. I'm not mad. He left us when I was 12 years old. And for some reason, well, yeah, it happened. And I understand as an adult that things can fall apart. Yes, and families fall apart. And I thought, but I miss him, and I really want him to know that I love him and I'm not mad at him. I want him to know that. And I need his love too. I need to know that he loves me too, because I didn't feel it for such a long time. And then I saw a beautiful tree in this garden, and it was just inviting me. And I hugged the tree, and I felt, I don't even know what was it, but the tree started talking like, I am also a father. And believe me, deep inside, he knows. We're all one, we're connected. He knows that nothing is outside of love. Everything is love. We just forget about it. And it was such a beautiful thing. You can understand it with your mind and you know about it. But when you drink in ayahuasca, you feel it. You feel that it is true. And it's very, very, it's a deep experience because it touches some layers that you don't have access in everyday life, only maybe via some dreams or some symbols. But back then I felt it, yes, with all my body. Very profound experience.
Yeah, you little tree hugger. You were hugging the trees. It was like Lord of the Rings.
You feel energy. You feel energy. It's not a joke. It's a frequency. It's energy. You feel it everywhere you go.
Well, to be honest, I hug trees sober, so I get it. I mean, there's something there. Like I mean, people talk about grounding, right? There is energy. There's something that we do and people do for some reason feel that. I mean, even my little girl, my daughter, I told her to hug a tree the other day and she loved it, you know. And then some of the clients that I look after in Los Angeles, I've got I've got memories in personal training sessions between, you know, I'm saying we hug a tree. So I think there is a knowing. There is a subconscious. It is, we kind of laugh about it because we built this man-made world that's so materialistic and that's full of like hot air. You know, it's not, it's just made up. Everything's made up by man, right? But then there is this other thing that we just know. It's just inside us. And so I think what you're telling us is this ayahuasca, it really opens that up. It opens that knowing and the things we can't maybe put. It's like the things we can't put into words, we just feel it. Is that kind of where, is that kind of the
It
right?
is, yeah, it is true. It is true. Because we have so many roles and masks, and we don't actually see ourselves, our real selves. We have a certain mask, like I'm a teacher, I'm a woman, I am this or I am that. And you don't see yourself. You don't actually know who you are. It's a role that you're playing here. And then with ayahuasca, you feel it. But I asked the shaman, why can't I feel it all the time? And she told me, you need to earn it. You need to earn it. It's very easy access, like all drugs and things. It's just something very easy and it destroys us because for some reason you forget things. And I think that oblivion is not a curse, it's a gift.
I heard something the other day. My friend said to me, I'm in this community, and he said to me, this is healing through action. And then I think of the 12th step and the chapter that's the most important thing is into action. And this is what I talk about with people. And I love that you've just said that, is you need to earn it. I remember having this conversation with a friend who is part of some camps, and he runs his own kind of retreats, but more for losing weight and things like that. And I remember saying to him, we got into this discussion, and I had this analogy of pay the price. You know, you have to pay the price. If you want to know how to learn Portuguese, you've got to put the hours in to learn Portuguese. So essentially that
Right?
metaphor of pay the price. And yeah, I don't think some people like that. They don't want to hear that because we just want something for nothing, right? Something for
Yeah,
nothing. I just want to take a drink. I just want to do this, and then everything's going to be fine if I just pay this amount of money. If I just buy the Louis Vuitton bag, I'm going to be great. If I just had the Ferrari, if I just had a raise, you know, if I just had a raise from work, if I was just making more money, if only I had more money, if I just had a house, if I owned a house, you know, but it's not
right.
true. It's empty, right? It's like why these lottery winners, there's this all these studies on lottery winners who go broke within like 3 years because they didn't earn it. So they don't know how to keep it, right?
Absolutely. And it can kill you. It can actually kill you. Because if you get something that you do not deserve, you don't know how to handle these things. And there is so much responsibility with it. I mean, anything that you want for, I don't know, yeah, cheap, like cheap knowledge, there is a lot of responsibility that probably you can't handle. Or it's like you need to change your lifestyle completely. And well, I wouldn't like to do it again in the nearest future, just because I understand that there is some knowledge that are hidden from us for a reason. And you need to work on yourself. Then you're gonna understand how important it is. Yes, the journey. You're right. Yes, nothing is cheap. Yeah, you can get a cheap access. You get an understanding that the world is more than this material. You get an understanding. You understand that that's true. You feel energies. You feel that there is something more powerful than you. It's even more than your subconscious, because subconscious is also a part of material world, and subconscious of collective subconscious is the memories of the past generations, the fears of past generations. uh, but the world is even more than that, and you just can't handle the truth. You can't handle it, so you need to live step by step, untangling things and meditating. So I think it's much healthier than getting a very cheap access, and it's nothing. It's like they're showing you, I don't know, through the tiny hole, the reality that might be there.
Yeah. How do you say it? The shaman? Is it the shaman or the shaman?
I said shaman, but it's shaman, right? Shaman.
Oh, it's shaman.
Shaman.
Yeah, I didn't know. So you're teaching me English. Thank you. Always teaching English, Anastasia. The
No, I
shaman,
don't.
yeah, I like the sound of her. I love that because that's a real someone like me who obviously pen to paper, do the work, you know. I love that she said, you know, you need to earn it, you know. Because this is one of the best things in life as well. I think the fact that everything's there if you put the effort in. You know, I really it separates. There's that saying, it separates the men from the boys. But talk is cheap. Talk is so cheap, right? Like there's something about action. There's something magical about. I remember one of my sponsors. I've had a few sponsors in 12 step, and he said, "I don't know what this is." He was like he was a cross between Jack Nicholson and Roddy Piper, and he was like, "I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but this universe, it digs action. And if you start taking action, it conspires to help you. Beautiful events start to, you know, come to fruition." And I couldn't agree more. It's unbelievable once you start taking action, especially if that action makes you a little nervous inside, makes you a little, you know, you feel,
Uncomfortable, right? Uncomfortable.
yeah, you feel the energy of, ooh, this is, you know, I think I might have to grow.
Yes, it's exciting, and it also scares you. It freaks you out because it's out of your yes, control, out of your comfort zone. That's right. That's right. But I also believe that no action can be also an action as well. So you need to
Mm.
understand sometimes making a lot of actions is nothing. People are doing nothing with that. It's like mundane things without thinking, or no actions and silence. It's action itself. Yeah, so you need to differentiate these things because sometimes we make a lot of things for nothing and it doesn't give you any result because you do it without even thinking. Yeah, so you need sometimes, but there are periods of life when you need to be in your bubble, in your own bubble, to reflect, to understand. And I guess all human beings, that they're trying to find their essence, their true selves, but they also need someone else, because only with a combination with someone else we can discover deeper parts of our beings. We were born with our mothers, so we are always, and we had traumas because of people around us. So people, they, and being together with someone, uh, it makes our journey more profound. And that's why I think the institute of marriage is for, yes, to understand your essence through another person. And yes, it's very
You believe in marriage?
well, yeah, there is a two like concepts: marriage as a social thing, yes, on papers, and sometimes because of, I don't know, for whatever reasons, like kings or queens, they get married just because of status. It's one thing. And another thing, marriage as a self-discovery, as actually relationships and working with your true self. Yes, because with a person you will go through a lot of challenges, and it's not easy, and it's sometimes very ugly. And but you need to understand what is the real reason why are we together. And sometimes if you're honest with yourself and you go to the core, maybe you don't need to be with that person anymore, but that's your self-discovery. So I believe in marriage, and I believe in promises, and I believe that only together you can actually discover more about yourself. Because what are the relation friends? They're here when you need them. Sometimes they're not here, and it's easy to isolate yourself from people, right? But when you're married, you need to go through challenges together. Sometimes it's not cool. So I believe that it helps us to grow. And it's not always beautiful. It's not always romantic, and it's not always sexual because, well, time changes everything. So it goes, yeah, deeper and deeper. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
do believe in marriage.
yeah, I think that's a good analogy. And, you know, life is not always uh, beautiful. You know, as a parent, I think a lot about my daughter and I think about my journey, and it's painful. Like to think that the biggest learning times is through pain. It's through discomfort. It's through making mistakes. And as a parent, you really don't want your child to go through that. But at the same time, you want your child to have character. And through that, my daughter will gain character. There's no doubt. If everything is given to her, what we just talked about earlier, then she won't earn it. And I see people that I work with, and I see people in the rooms and in my journey through addiction. And one of the common denominators is people who didn't earn things. They can't cope with rejection. They can't cope with no. They can't cope with disagreements. They can't cope with troubleshooting in life. You see them go to pieces and there's no resilience. So there's something about this getting in the fire, you know, being forged in the difficult times, and having the strength of character to get through those. So yeah, it's I'm really happy with your take on this journey. What would be, thinking about it now, what was the biggest thing you got out of it, would you say? This retreat, this trip, this experience, from the person who entered it to the Anastasia who leaves it?
Well, I got a very, very strong understanding that love, the energy, is there. It's the reason for all this world to exist. And it's your, I don't know, it's just the core of everything. And the rest, the fears and pain and the rest is just an episode. But at the core, there is love. And there is something massive and loving and something that takes care of you and you are part of it. That's the strongest understanding, whether it's God or energy or the creator or something outside the matrix. But there is love and there is nothing to be scared of. Well, yes, I do, of course. I do. Yes, I do. I have a lot of fears, but I do understand that when I switch my mind and I think it's a game, it's just an episode, it's a game. What are you scared of? And I always hear that voice. I don't know what was it. Was it my own voice of my subconscious, or was it a deep voice of something? I don't know. But I knew that there is nothing to be scared of. Just believe me, there is love everywhere. It's games that we're playing. Even if it's painful or even if it seems scary, the reason is love. You need to understand it's just experience. That was my, I guess, the strongest feeling that I have. And sometimes when I feel that life is falling apart and I am lost, I understand it's okay. We'll give it some time. And yeah, I do have a lot of troubles, problems, and painful situations, and it's not very easy. But I do understand that there is something beyond all of that. And the game, this matrix, is for our experiences. So, and I want to make it beautiful. And I think that people should make it beautiful. Beautiful story out of something ugly. Yes, because the ground is always, it's with worms and with different creatures that are not so beautiful. But out of the ground, you can see trees and flowers and plants and fruits and everything in life. Yeah, so it is like this. Yeah, I believe that love is the most important thing. But I do know people who go into ayahuasca many, many times and they discover in more and more and deeper layers. And I don't know what is it. Maybe it's just they're being deluded. I don't know. For me, once was enough. And right now, I understand that if you want to escape from this reality, maybe you want to go somewhere else to a different dimension. But it's also an escapism. So the reason I did it, I wanted to discover what was the hook, why I can't grow. Yes, and ayahuasca didn't tell me exactly why, but I felt that there is nothing to be scared of. It is love. So maybe it is enough for me right now to know. Yep.
Amazing. I'm going to share a little story with you, actually. You've just reminded me of something that happened. So in the 12 steps, when we work the 12 steps, one of the biggest completions is step 4 and 5, where you take a lot of time to write a personal inventory. You go through your life and you see essentially your part in everything, and you write
Mm-hmm.
it down, and you make a list of your fears and things like this. And you then will take this and share it with your sponsor or another human being. And it usually takes 4 or 5 hours to get this all done, to tell each story, to process it. And then afterwards, it's the recommendation that I had this time was to go and meditate after doing this, to go home, meditate for 1 hour, and then spend some time with my higher power and play some songs. And that was it, right? So I did this, and what happened was, and trust me, I mean, I meditate maximum usually for 10 minutes. So it was exhausting going through the whole story, going through events, talking about things when you were bullied, talking about relationships, talking about stuff that you wanted to kill yourself over, shame, guilt, things like this for me. And then I had to meditate afterwards. And that meditation was like running a marathon, to sit there with my eyes closed in the room, lit a candle, put the timer on for an hour in silence to meditate. It was really tough, but just to process everything and breathe. And afterwards, I spent some time with God, my higher power, and we played some music. And I said, I'm going to play something. I said, I'm going to play the Beatles, All You Need Is Love. And I was doing it, and I was in the room just dancing around, you know, like they do at these retreats. But I was just dancing around in my own room and like, this is crazy, but you know, I'm just doing it. And because I primed myself, right? So I'm not on ayahuasca, but neurologically, spiritually, energy-wise, I have primed myself for hours. So I'm in this place where I'm really vibrating. And then God said to me, or this intuition or this inner spirit said, play Bob Marley. This is this love, right? And I was playing Bob Marley, Is This Love? And I realized for me that song was about falling in love with yourself and accepting yourself. And I swear to God, I was stood in a room, hugging myself, slow dancing to Is This Love by Bob Marley. You know, I want to love you and treat you right, you know? And how often do we not love ourselves and treat ourselves right? We treat ourselves so badly. I watched this video today my friend made, and he was saying, you know, you should, for the next week, look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself. And if that's difficult, then maybe think why. You know, we this inner voice, this inner critic, this monkey mind, we need to prime that to be our biggest advocate, to fan our flames. It should not be shitting and pissing on everything we want to do, be, and become. So I just wanted to share that with you because your
It is
journey inspired
beautiful. It is true.
and it reminded me of when I kind of had my own little trip that we can get ourselves into these states. People do it with breath work, people do it with writing, people do it with cold water therapy. I believe that, you know, it's like any drug, all it does essentially makes your brain release things, right? And the placebo effect, when you think it, you believe it, speak it, it
It
happens.
works. It works,
So,
right?
you know, that was my little spiritual experience that reminded me of your spiritual experience. So thank you for sharing and
So
happy I could reciprocate.
thank you so much. And I also thought because a couple days ago, I was listening to a lecture to a podcast that honestly, all addictions and every addict, he's searching for God, for love. This love is so true. Yes. Oh, so let it be a podcast about love. Yes, it's so
Yeah, who
cool.
knew it? Who knew it? Um,
Right.
so thank you so much for coming on. Just before we go, we didn't even say you're actually from Russia, right? Is this correct?
Yes, yes, yes. I am
So
from Russia. I'm from
your native
Siberia.
Siberia, your native tongue is Russian.
Right. Yes.
And if people want to, you know, if, I don't know, you teach so many people online. If they want to learn English and more about themselves and go on a spiritual journey while they're learning a language, you know, I recently did a video about 5 things to win at life, and I really believe replacing bad behaviors like maybe overeating, maybe gambling, maybe drinking, maybe drunk, if you can, or drugging, if you can replace that with another activity. And I think learning a language, another language is so stimulating and it opens your brain. There's evidence to show that people who speak multiple languages can cope with problems more because they don't see the world one way. They know that a chair is not just a chair, it's also a cadera, or in Russian, it's a.
Stool, это стул, стул, стул.
So look, we see, oh, people see things differently. Maybe the way I see life is not how everyone sees it. Maybe there's, a
Exactly.
solution, and maybe there's no such thing as good and bad. Maybe it's just the thinking that makes it so. So yeah, they can get in touch with you online, and I'm going to put all that stuff in the description. Is there anything you'd like to say about what you teach, your methods, or to potential students that
Yeah,
want to?
sure. But I'm not sure, yes, if people they understand everything we're talking about, they need my help. Because I'm
Maybe they want to learn
usually I teach.
Russian. Maybe they want to learn
Oh,
another
that would
language.
be great. That would be great. I would be, yes, really, it would be my pleasure to help them learn in Russian language because it's true. Yes, you see life through different lenses. Yes, and you see it from different, yeah, you have different perception of life. Whenever you speak a different language, you have a different character as well too. It is so true because you feel things differently, the way you structure sentences. So my method and the structure of my lessons, it's always about talking. Yes, a bit of grammar, and it's fun. So some fun activities. We're watching movies, we're discussing movies, we're talking a lot. And well, I'm being a bit of psychologist as well because people are sharing. And it's so funny because some people they're saying, you're the only person who knows my favorite color, my favorite movie, my favorite food, because I am, yes, fully engaged. Yes, and we become friends with most of my students. So if you need my help, if you want to learn languages, I would love to help you. And it's an honor. It's an honor to be like to lead you through this process. And I'm just showing you the way. I'm not doing anything. You practice yourself. I'm just showing you the easy way and fun way. So that's my method. That's the most important thing. And whatever your request is, of course. So I'm going to work on your request and would be happy to see you as a student. Or if you're interested in my book, I would also be happy to, yes, to share whenever I publish it. I hope it will be soon.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Anastasia. And if you didn't realize it yet, love is the answer.
Love is the answer. Love is the answer. Thank you. Thank you, Jazz. Thank you for inviting me. It is like an honor to be here. Thank
You're welcome.
you.